Have you ever been dismissed, interrupted, or outright ignored? Have you ever felt the sting of being undervalued or overlooked at work, in relationships, or in daily interactions? The pain of being disrespected isn't just frustrating. It cuts deep, shaking your confidence and making you question your worth. But here's the truth. Respect isn't handed out freely, and it's never truly earned by shouting or begging. Step by step, respect is built through how you carry yourself, set boundaries, and respond to challenges. In this video, we're going to break down the exact actions you need to take to command respect immediately. These are not vague platitudes. They're proven, practical steps you can apply in real-world scenarios. Whether someone interrupts you, dismisses your ideas, or tests your boundaries, you'll know exactly how to respond with strength, clarity, and authority. Declare your commitment to commanding respect by commenting below. Respect is my standard. Stay with us until the end, because what you'll learn may transform how others treat you and how you see yourself. Let's begin. Number 1. When someone interrupts you, reassert your boundaries. Imagine this. You're in a meeting at work, sharing a thoughtful point, when someone abruptly cuts you off and takes over the conversation. At that moment, you have two choices. Let it slide and risk being seen as passive, or take control and command the respect you deserve. If you stay silent, the message is clear. Your words can be dismissed and your ideas can be sidelined. But if you respond with composure and authority, you set an unmistakable boundary. With calm confidence, say something like, "Excuse me, I wasn't finished. Allow me to complete my thought." This simple yet firm statement reclaims your space without escalating tension. This isn't just about words, it's about presence. Your tone should be steady, your gaze direct. Avoid raising your voice or showing irritation. Respect is not demanded, it's conveyed through your demeanor. Take another scenario. At a family dinner, you're sharing a story, and a relative jumps in mid-sentence to tell their tale. Instead of letting it slide, you calmly interject. "I'll get back to you in a moment, but I'd like to finish this first." These moments, though small, train others to respect your voice and boundaries. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, do not let anyone encroach upon what you control. Your voice is yours. If you let interruptions go unchecked, you allow others to undermine your value. But by standing firm, you show that you respect yourself, and others will follow suit. Here's how to master this skill. 1. Pause and breathe. Before responding, take a brief pause to ensure your tone remains calm. 2. Use assertive language. Phrases like, "Let me finish," or "Please allow me to complete my thought," are direct and respectful. 3. Stay composed. Body language matters. Maintain eye contact and an open posture to project confidence. In reclaiming your voice, you're not just stopping an interruption, you're setting the tone for how others treat you moving forward. It's a small action with profound implications, showing that you value your contributions and expect others to do the same. Number 2. When someone ignores your opinions, prove it with actions. Imagine this in a romantic relationship. You suggest an idea to your partner, maybe a way to save for a future trip or a plan to improve communication, but they dismiss it outright, brushing it off as unimportant. The sting of being ignored can make anyone want to argue or demand acknowledgement. But a wiser approach? Let your actions speak louder than words. Instead of engaging in a frustrating back and forth, take a step back and calmly put your idea into practice. For example, if you propose setting a budget but your partner didn't take it seriously, start implementing it quietly. Begin tracking expenses, finding ways to save, and demonstrate how your plan works. Once the results are undeniable, like having enough saved for that dream trip, show them with quiet confidence. "Here's how I've been making this happen." This approach not only avoids unnecessary arguments, but also showcases your commitment and capability. Actions like these highlight your value in the relationship without you needing to justify or explain endlessly. It's about leading by example, not seeking approval. Another scenario. You express a concern about a recurring issue, such as spending too much time on phones during dinner, but it gets dismissed as overthinking. Instead of escalating, take the lead by setting your phone aside at meals, fostering more meaningful conversations. When your partner notices the difference, your point is proven without a single word of debate. Epictetus's advice is clear. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. By focusing on action instead of words, you build trust and respect. Your partner learns that your ideas carry weight, not because you insist, but because you show them the results. Here's how to apply this principle. 1. Stay calm when dismissed. Avoid taking it personally. Focus on demonstrating your perspective through action. 2. Start small. Implement parts of your idea that don't require full agreement, showing its value step by step. 3. Acknowledge the impact. Once results are evident, highlight them without arrogance. This is what I was aiming for, and I'm glad it's working. By proving your point with actions, you not only validate your ideas, but also establish yourself as a reliable, thoughtful partner. Over time, this approach fosters deeper respect as your partner sees the tangible value you bring to the relationship. Number 3. When someone puts you down in public, respond with poise and authority. Picture this. You're at a team meeting or a social gathering, sharing your thoughts, when someone makes a snide remark or undermines your ideas in front of others. The sting of embarrassment is real, and your instinct might be to snap back or defend yourself fiercely. But reacting with anger risks escalating the situation and could even make you appear less composed. Instead, take a breath, steady your tone, and respond with calm strength. Say something like, "I don't think that needed to be phrased that way," or "I'd appreciate it if we kept this constructive." Then redirect the focus back to the topic at hand. This kind of response does two powerful things. It establishes that you won't tolerate disrespect, and it shows you're mature enough to rise above pettiness. Here's an example. In a professional setting, if a colleague says something dismissive about your work, respond with confidence. "I'd prefer if we discussed the specifics rather than generalizing. Let me clarify my point." You're addressing the issue without stooping to their level, and the room will notice your composure. In a personal context, say during a family gathering, someone mocks a decision you made. Instead of reacting emotionally, calmly state, "That's an interesting perspective, but I stand by my decision." Your tone should be firm but devoid of sarcasm or defensiveness. This signals that while you hear them, you are not swayed or diminished by their comment. Seneca's wisdom guides us here. No one can harm you without your consent. By choosing not to react with anger, you deny them the satisfaction of controlling your emotions. Your calm response sends a message of inner strength and confidence, which commands respect. Here's how to handle these situations effectively. 1. Pause before you respond. A brief pause shows you are in control and thinking deliberately. 2. Choose assertive language. Use phrases like, "I disagree with how that was framed," or "Let's keep this respectful," to establish boundaries. 3. Redirect the focus. Bring the conversation back to the main topic, ensuring the moment doesn't derail your agenda. This approach not only diffuses tension, but also shifts the power dynamic in your favor. When you respond with calm authority, you demonstrate that your self-worth isn't tied to others' opinions. Over time, even those who try to undermine you will think twice before doing so again. Number 4. When treated as secondary, assert your value with confidence. Imagine you're in a group discussion, at work, or within your social circle, and your input is consistently overlooked. People might make decisions without consulting you, or you find your contributions undervalued. Instead of fading into the background or letting frustration boil over, this is your opportunity to reclaim your position, not with confrontation, but with confident action. Let's say in a team meeting, your ideas are ignored, but later someone else presents a similar suggestion and receives praise. Instead of staying silent, calmly point out your earlier contribution. "I'm glad this is being discussed. It's similar to the idea I mentioned earlier about specifics. I'm happy to expand on how we can implement it." This subtly but firmly establishes your role in the conversation without sounding defensive or needy. In personal relationships, it's common to feel secondary when decisions are made without your input. For example, if your partner makes plans that affect you but doesn't consult you, respond assertively but kindly. "I appreciate that you made arrangements, but I'd like to be involved in decisions that impact both of us." This statement communicates respect for their efforts while asserting your role in the partnership. Marcus Aurelius's wisdom offers clarity here. Be someone you respect. By standing firm in your values and communicating them clearly, you teach others to see you in the same light. Remember, respect often starts with self-respect. People mirror the energy you project. Here's how to demonstrate your value effectively. 1. Speak with confidence. Even if your voice shakes, maintain a steady tone and choose words that reflect your authority and clarity. 2. Offer solutions. Whether in work or personal situations, focus on actionable contributions rather than just opinions. 3. Don't wait for recognition. Highlight your contributions naturally within conversations to remind others of your impact. For example, in a workplace scenario, you might say, "I've already started working on a framework for this. Let me share what I've developed so far." In a social or family setting, emphasize your unique input. "This is something I've researched a lot. Let me explain how it can work." By confidently asserting your value, you shift how others perceive and treat you. Instead of waiting for respect, you create it. Over time, those who once overlooked you will come to recognize and depend on your contributions. 5. When people disrespect your boundaries, learn to say no clearly. Let me tell you about Lisa, the woman next door. Lisa is one of those people who everyone seems to like, partly because she's always been the one to say yes. Yes to lending her lawnmower. Yes to baking for the neighborhood potluck, even though she barely has time for herself. Yes to carpooling, even when it means rearranging her entire schedule. But then came the moment that changed everything. One day, her neighbor, Mrs. Wilson, asked if Lisa could watch her dog for the weekend. Again. Lisa, who had already done it multiple times and felt drained, finally said, "I understand you need help, but I'm not available this time." Mrs. Wilson was shocked, even offended at first. But Lisa stood her ground, her voice calm but firm. There was no anger, no lengthy explanation, just a simple, clear boundary. And to her surprise, something remarkable happened. Mrs. Wilson apologized and found another solution. Lisa realized that the world didn't fall apart because she said no. This isn't just Lisa's story, it's a lesson in how boundaries protect your peace and demand respect. If you don't enforce your limits, people will continue to take advantage, often without even realizing they're doing so. Saying no doesn't make you rude or selfish, it makes you someone who values their own time and energy. Seneca's words resonate here. You owe no one an explanation for your peace. Lisa didn't need to justify her decision or apologize for protecting her time. Her clear no was enough. Here's how you can apply this in your own life. 1. Start small. Practice saying no in low-stakes situations, like declining a favor you genuinely don't want to do. 2. Use respectful language. For example, "I appreciate you asking, but I'm unable to help this time." 3. Don't over-explain. A short, polite response is sufficient. There's no need for elaborate excuses. The beauty of Lisa's approach is that it didn't just teach Mrs. Wilson to respect her boundaries, it also showed Lisa her strength. Saying no didn't alienate her. It made people appreciate her more because they saw her self-respect. So the next time someone asks for more than you're able to give, think of Lisa. You don't have to be harsh, you just have to be clear. And sometimes, the most powerful way to earn respect is with a firm but kind no. 6. When someone tries to impose their opinion, hold your ground. Imagine you're at a dinner party, and your overly enthusiastic cousin Dave starts a spirited monologue about why pineapple belongs on pizza. He's got charts and personal anecdotes, and even tries to guilt you with, "How can you hate something so universally loved?" The room falls silent, all eyes on you, as if this is some kind of culinary inquisition. Now you have two choices: cave in and say, "Sure, Dave, pineapple pizza is fine," or channel your inner stoic and calmly respond, "I hear you, Dave, and I can see why you'd enjoy it. But for me, it just doesn't work." Then, instead of engaging in a full-blown debate about the merits of fruit-topped pizza, you redirect the conversation to something less divisive, like the weather or his beloved dog. Here's the brilliance of this approach. You've acknowledged his opinion without adopting it, showing that you're confident in your perspective while respecting his. This balance of assertiveness and composure is what earns respect. This doesn't just apply to pineapple pizza. Think about a colleague who insists their way of doing a project is the only correct one. Or a friend who constantly pressures you to join their weekend plans that you have zero interest in. The principle remains the same. Calmly acknowledge their opinion. I see why you think that, and then firmly hold your stance. But this is what works for me. Epictetus reminds us, what matters is not their opinion, but the truth as you see it. The world is full of strong personalities trying to impose their views. Your strength lies in resisting the urge to either conform or escalate. Here's how to master this skill. 1. Acknowledge their perspective. This shows you're listening, which often diffuses tension. 2. State your position calmly. Confidence without aggression is key, e.g., I appreciate your point, but I'm sticking with my decision. Or 3. Avoid unnecessary arguments. Not every disagreement needs a winner. Your stance can coexist with theirs. For extra flair, use humor to lighten the mood. If Dave presses you on the pizza issue, smile and say, "Hey, more pineapple pizza for you." It's a win-win. Humor disarms, redirects, and reinforces that you're not easily swayed. By holding your ground with a mix of respect, confidence, and a touch of humor, you prove that your opinions are yours alone, not up for negotiation or debate. And who knows? Maybe Dave will think twice before bringing his pineapple crusade to the next party. Next, let's explore how to gracefully exit environments where your contributions aren't valued. Let's move forward. Number 7. When you feel disrespected in a group, withdraw and act independently. Picture this. You're in a brainstorming session at work, and every time you contribute an idea, it's brushed aside or ignored, only for someone else to repeat it later and get all the credit. You sit there, feeling invisible, wondering if you should fight to be heard, or simply leave the room. Here's the truth. Staying in an environment where your value isn't recognized isn't a show of resilience. It's a waste of your potential. Instead, rise above the noise. You don't need to battle for respect in a group that doesn't appreciate you. Sometimes the most powerful move is to step away and prove your worth where it will be seen. Marcus Aurelius offers timeless wisdom. Withdraw from anything unprofitable to your soul. This isn't about giving up. It's about refusing to engage in futile battles. When you leave with your dignity intact, you make a statement far louder than any argument. Take, for example, a musician in a band whose creative input is always dismissed. Instead of staying and letting frustration fester, they decide to pursue a solo career. By stepping into their light, they not only reclaim their voice, but also often achieve more than they ever could within the group. Here's how you can master this principle. 1. Recognize when respect is absent. Pay attention to repeated patterns of dismissal or exclusion. 2. Leave quietly but decisively. There's no need for dramatic exits or confrontations. Your absence will say more than words ever could. 3. Redirect your energy. Channel your focus into independent projects or environments where your contributions are valued. This approach applies beyond work. In social circles, if you're consistently left out or your presence feels undervalued, consider stepping back. The world is vast, and countless groups and individuals will appreciate your unique qualities. Your departure from a toxic dynamic isn't just a retreat, it's a strategic move toward environments that align with your worth. When you choose to walk away from disrespect, you elevate yourself. It's not an act of surrender, it's a declaration of self-respect and confidence. Over time, those who once dismissed you may come to regret it, but by then, you'll be too far ahead to notice. Next, let's explore how embracing solitude and independence can enhance your strength and focus. Let's move forward. Conclusion. Command respect. Now, respect isn't handed to you. It's earned through unwavering confidence, self-control, and decisive actions. It's built step by step. Every time you hold your ground, establish boundaries, or walk away from environments that don't recognize your worth. Each action you take shapes how others perceive and treat you. If these principles resonate with you, share this message with someone who needs a reminder of their strength. And don't forget to subscribe to Victory Stoic for more lessons that empower you to master yourself and your life. Here's the truth. You don't need to beg for respect. When you live with clarity, integrity, and purpose, respect becomes a natural byproduct of who you are. It's not about seeking validation. It's about embodying your values so deeply that others can't help but acknowledge your presence. So go forward, act boldly, live intentionally, and let your actions speak louder than words. See you in the next video.